So first, we're going to start with a problem, and I'm just going to introduce the problem, and then I'm going to let you think about it. While you're thinking about it, what we'll do is I'll explain what's going on while you're thinking about it. Okay, so in this position, black has just played e5 to e4, and we're going to say white has three choices, and your job is to figure out which of these choices is the best. First, and then I'll talk about it. Knight g5, all right. Knight h2, knight d2. And what we're going to do is we have the power now, this amazing power, to launch a poll, my friends. So we are going to launch a poll now. And, geez, am I going to be able to do it? We're going to see. No, I can't. I don't know. I can't get to the meeting controls now. Hold on. Apps. No, that's not the apps. Polls. All right, polls, please. All right, here we go. Launch. All right, so
it works.
It works.
It doesn't let me vote, though. It's unfair.
That's fine. Now, I suggest do not immediately vote. Take some time. We're gonna have a moment to think about this. All right? Okay, so first, while you're thinking, I want to explain what we're doing today. What we're doing today is old school chess problems. And what that means is problems from back in the day, and in particular, most of these are going to be from this amazing book called The Best Move by Hort and Janse. They're very difficult problems, and these were all problems that came up from their games, so they were analyzing their own games and made what they thought were deep decisions about what the best moves were. Some have practical, practical considerations. Some of them, many of them, do not simply win. They have a practical evaluation at the end of a position. And one of the things I love about it is that if you do a lot of the modern problems, they're all going to be computer generated in the sense that they are going to be checked by a computer, and you're only going to allow problems that have one super clear answer. In a lot of these ones, when you turn on the computer, a lot of their problems aren't even right in terms of what the computer thinks. And there's often more than one right answer. Now you could say to yourself, Kraai, what are we doing then? What's the point? What's the point if there's more than one right answer? Well, the point is that the human problems are a lot more interesting, especially if you take somebody who's like a GM, like these strong GMs like these guys were, and they're analyzing their own games and they have their own thoughts. And because once you turn on the computer, your thoughts are going to get kind of clouded and you're going to be kind of confused. And one thing you guys know that I really push for is that you should analyze your own games, and that's where they got these problems. A similar book is Perfect Your Chess by Volokitin and Grabinski. I kind of like this one even better, though Volokitin and Grabinski, I've said forever that that's one of the best tactics books around. Okay, and why? Because we're talking about, when I say tactics, not just a path toward a win, but the best move as it actually happens. In my experience, and I'm sure yours, there's not usually some simple path to a winning position. No, there's it's a little bit, the forest is a little darker than that, right? It's usually not like a puzzle rush position. Okay, so people are thinking about this, and I'm going to say a couple obvious things about the position. This is actually taken from one of my games, and one of the reasons I picked first one of my games before I did the best move positions is that these interesting middle game positions where you have a couple different moves that are very interesting, they come up in your games as well. It's not just like super GMs only get the interesting decisions. No, everybody gets these interesting decisions, and if you spend some time analyzing your games, you will definitely find them. And this is a position from a recent tournament of mine. I spent a lot of time in this position. Let me say a couple obvious things. White is up a pawn, so white believes he should be better, and black is desperately trying to create some counterplay. And e4 has both a good and a bad to it. The good is that it's gaining some space, and he might have an idea behind e4. Also, but on the negative side, it is blocking the bishop on b7 entirely, right? So that's the easy positive and negative to say out loud when you're considering this. And I think that probably has something to do with how you evaluate then the position. Also, perhaps white's knight is now a problem piece or can become a problem piece. All right, now, what I'm going to try to do in all of these problems, okay, is, I'm going to move this over here, is that instead of saying, oh, we're going to have like X number of minutes per move, what I'm going to do is when I think about 60% or so of people have responded, then that's when I'll say, okay, one more minute to go, and that'll be the end, right? That'll be the end. So, Greg, you're in the chat. How many people do we have today?
23 did the poll. But some of them joined late, so I don't know if they got the chance to vote.
I see, right.
Like, I can't vote.
Oh, no, I see. No, we have 27 participants, me and you included. And then
there you go. So somebody just voted.
And then we've got 15 people voting. Yeah, so I'm going to wait a little bit. And I definitely encourage you to think about what's going on in this. It's definitely not the easiest thing here. Okay. And for the most part, I'm going to try to shut up. It's very hard for me to shut up, but I'm going to try to shut up as much as I can to give you some time. And what we're going to do after is we're just going to go through it, and then hopefully we'll bring some people on the call to talk about their opinions. And this one was very interesting to me because I made a move and then maybe second guessed it. Also, then I had a coach look at it with me, and he disagreed with me. And ultimately, I did turn on the computer to check my own analysis. But what I'm going to be honest about is just what I thought, and then I'll tell you what the computer thought. And I can guarantee you it's not the same opinion. It's not the same opinion. And my coach did not have the same. My grumpy Soviet coach did not have the same opinion either. Okay, so we got 18 people. That's about 16%. I'm going to give one more minute. Take a moment and think about what you should play. And then we'll give, at the very end, even though Greg isn't allowed to vote, we'll ask him what he thinks too.
Oh, I'm very distracted. You don't want to ask me.
Okay, good. So I'm going to end this poll, and then people can see what everybody else said. There it is. And Greg, why don't you go first? What did you like best and why?
Kind of changed my mind.
Okay.
Oh, knight h2.
Knight h2, okay. Why do you like knight h2?
Well, I mean, I feel like black's plan is to go knight d7 to e5, and then like we could put a rook in d1 and go bishop d5. Do that, but I don't know if it's like that's just what I was thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
Like g5 okay too, might get stuck after like rook e7. I can't figure out if that's good or not.
Uh-huh.
That's my extensive analysis.
Okay. In terms of, positionally, or was there any reasons to, what guided this decision to knight h2?
Oh, just to react to knight d7 to e5, some fashion.
Okay, cool.
Other options just to go knight g4 after knight e5.
All right. Now, let's see if we can bring anybody in who would like a chance to talk. Austin. All right, let's bring in Austin here. I got so many windows open. It's amazing. This one, by the way, and the other problems, what I'm going to do is this is very difficult. This is very difficult. I am trying to find, there's a way to find Austin that involves typing his name in.
I can unmute myself.
Okay, good. Austin, tell us what you like.
I like knight to 2, mostly because the knight is most flexible on d2. If you go knight g5, then the knight is basically committed to be on the king side. And if knight g5, you can't win the f7 pawn, then it's basically a useless move. And same thing with knight h2. Like, if black decides not to attack you on the queen side, and instead tries to attack down the b file, then the knight on h2 will just be useless. But knight d2, the knight can draw back to f1 if black attacks from the king side. It can go to either b3 and c4. I think c4, if black plans on this knight d7 thing, like I'm thinking of something like rook d1, move the bishop, and then play knight c4 to contest the b3 square and also the e5 square. And then if black doesn't do that, he plays something like bishop c8. I think hit b3, knight a5 might be good.
Okay, well, let's do Greg's idea with knight d7. What would you like to do here?
The queen's not in the greatest spot, because I'd want to play bishop f1. I guess they can play rook fd1.
All right, let's try that. Rook fd1, knight e5.
How about knight b3?
b3, right?
Just let him take the bishop.
Okay, let's say queen c7.
Bishop d5. Take on b7.
Okay.
Rook b1.
But your knight's hanging.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I was gonna say something to the off.
So black's doing great here, right?
I think, I'd have to play something bad like rook a3. No, I think I messed something up.
Okay.
I think probably bishop d5 wasn't good. I should just keep that bishop on c4.
Now, let me just say, Austin, you are not the first person to go down that road. And it happened so quickly, right? It's like, wait a second. Wait a second. Knight d2 was a natural move. What happened there? And then all of a sudden, knight d7. And then knight e5's coming. And then the weird thing is then that the pawn on e4, it's a magic piece, magic pawn, because you can never take the knight on d3 because you'll unleash the bishop. Yeah. Okay, good. Anybody else would like to have a shot at this thing? Okay, Rio, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
So I would play knight g5. Or say rook e7 basically.
Okay, let's go knight g5.
And then now I play h4. Or else my knight h1. And if he chases me, I go knight h3. Next is knight f1. And then I got my knight to a better spot compared to d2.
Okay.
It also controls d3 square. It seems like we're fine, but not much.
Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. It might be possible to play chess that way. Now, let me just say, it gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies that we weakened our king side, and I'm not totally sure the knight's coming through d5, you know? But I think I see what you're saying. Okay, good. Good. Anybody else like to have a say here? All right, Sefer, what do you got?
So I hit 92, and I don't think it's right anymore.
Okay.
But I like knight h2. I remember like Austin said it restricts your knight on the king side, but I don't think that's really the case. Because first of all, maybe a future plan would be to play knight g4 and annoy their knight. And if that provokes them to play h5, I'm going to play rook d1 and knight f1.
Okay, let's try knight h2, and let's do Greg's plan, knight d7.
Knight g4.
But don't you just have to go back now?
Oh yeah. What about
I'm going to start with knight g4.
All right.
Not immediately. Knight g4
Okay.
then.
So what, maybe rook fd1 or something?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, knight e5.
It's a bit annoying. It doesn't really prevent it then. Maybe bishop d4?
Can I ask? So what about knight g4 here after knight e5? It's kind of like settled on.
Yeah, it's a thought. I guess the first question would be, what about knight d3?
Oh, you can just do that. It's annoying. Yeah, I don't. Never mind. I don't like it.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody else have a thought about what black should do? Or, excuse me, white should do? Okay. Eric says he likes knight g5. Eric, you want to come out and say something? You want to support knight g5?
Hello, can you share the poll results? We don't see them.
Oh, how do we share that? Yeah. I thought I did share it, but
Just press the button that says share.
I did though. I pressed that button. I can hit stop sharing, but I can't. I've already shared it.
I just pressed it a minute ago.
Okay.
A second ago.
All right. Good. One of my favorite comments is knight h2 is just hypocritical. Do you hear that, Shahada? You hear that, buddy? You're hypocritical.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So let me just give you my own take after having studied this thing. And so let me tell you also the different opinions. And what I mean by that is I studied this at length, as I do all my games, and I came to my own decision about what I thought I should have played here. And then also, I'll tell you what my coach said, also without the computer. And then I'll tell you what the computer said. All right? So I came to the conclusion that the best move was knight g5, however, not with the idea of playing h4 and knight h3. I thought the key variation was knight g5, rook e7, rook fd1, and now there's a variety of ways in which this can happen, but basically h6 is going to happen. And when I say a variety of ways, like he could play rook a f8 first if he wanted to. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to snip this thing. I'm going to play b4. And again, a variety of things can happen. Let's try this one. Again, there's many moves. Boom, boom, boom. Let's say this one. Bishop takes. And now you can take with a rook or the queen. If he takes with the queen, there's rook a7 is kind of annoying. And on rook f7, we have this. Now, there are many different ways in which this can go down. But I looked at this for a long time, and I decided that this was basically the correct way to play. And I decided in my notebook, I said plus minus slash plus, slash clear advantage. right? So in computer speak, that would be like 1.5, like right on the edge between winning and clear advantage. And positionally, the key idea to drive me to knight g5, which I did not play in the game, is that the advantage of e4 is that it's going to make my knight uncomfortable. The disadvantage, of course, is that the bishop on b7 really gets throttled. Unless he gets time to play knight d7, e5. We saw in those variations, like, oh my God, the knight lands on d3, or maybe even f3, the bishop on b7 turns into an animal. So what knight g5 does is I'm going to give up the 2 pieces for the rook and pawn. And then I'm going to claim, hey, I'm going to have better king, and the bishop's dead, and I will retain the initiative. In particular, I'm going to have time to do b4, b5, which I think is critical for white in his business. And we could look forever at variations, but like, to my mind, like this position here, let's start with this one, in fact. This is kind of forced, something like this. The queen could take on f7, but something like this is forced. And, you know, I showed this to my coach, the grumpy Russian GM. He said, no. He said, no. This is not what you do, Mr. Kraai. This is not what you play. And I was kind of downhearted and saddened. But let me just share his practical wisdom here, in that for him, it's too involved in the position, and it's felt unnecessary to him to change the dynamic of the position when essentially I'm up a pawn. So like, why do I need to go so crazy? Now, on the other hand, I think, you know, we can argue that maybe in a practical game you'd have to have some real nuts to go for this kind of thing. But by going over your games, right, it's like, oh, well, now we're getting a real sense of when this kind of thing might work. In particular, do I retain the initiative? But still, I was really interested that he didn't like it. Okay, so then what happened? I turned on the computer, and in this position, I think there's various ways we can get to this one, b4. It was saying not 1.5. It was saying not 1. It was saying 2.7. And I was like, 2.7? 2.7? And so that was very interesting to me. You know, so the computer definitely has something to add, but I would have never put it that high just because I don't feel that amazingly certain in my judgment about the position. One of the key points I want to add about this kind of dynamic, which I'm sure you've all gotten at some point, is this. The rook, for the 2 pieces, you can put on a gradient and say, the longer the game goes on, the more pieces that are traded, the stronger the rook's going to get in relationship to the 2 pieces. At the beginning of the game, where the rooks are pretty worthless, and I know you guys have all seen opening variations like this, the 2 pieces are just way too strong. Just forget about it. The rook doesn't have a chance. But now, in a position, for example, like this, or for example, like this, where both of the rooks are going to be very strong, and again, the bishop on b7's cut, and I'm really going to be able to control all of these great squares on the d file in particular. You know, the rooks are amazing. I was going to add one more little nugget. In general, I am looking, white is, to exchange one rook because my rooks are duplicating their function. And you know, so I want to get rid of his one rook and keep one of mine. Okay, so I hope that was interesting. And we're now going to move on to example number 2, and we're going to launch another poll. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this one, and this is number 2. And the question is very simple. After knight f7, so that you're basically forced to play knight f7, but the question is, are you winning? Is it equal? Or are you worse after knight takes f7? Okay, so first, while you guys are doing that, I need to launch another poll. All right, so, oh, Greg. Oh, Greg, where's my power? Where's my power to launch the poll? Poles. I can't do it. It's too hard. Greg, are you there? He might have left. Wait, there it is. Poles. Thank you. Number 2. And then we're going to launch this baby. Launch. Okay. So better equal worse. That's the way we framed it. I said winning equal worse, but better equal worse. Let's go. And while we're doing this, I'm going to share a quick little funny story. There's a thing called priming, okay? And it's commonly known in psychological circles. And the idea is very fascinating. If you make somebody, let's say, memorize a phone number, and that phone number has a bunch of high digits, like 8, 9, 7, 6, just a random bunch of numbers, but they're high numbers. And then you ask them to answer a question, how many countries are there in Africa? They're going to pick a higher number than people who were primed with memorizing a lower set of numbers. It's a fascinating question. Now, why do I tell it? Because since the other answer was knight g5, sacking on f7, I'm trying to suggest that maybe knight takes f7 isn't correct. Just don't automatically do it just because it was correct in the last one. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so there we go. I think I'm seeing this. Yeah, okay. Good, and again, like last time, I'm going to wait until about 60% of people have answered. And then I'm going to give about a minute to go. And this one, I have not checked with the computer, and I think I'm just going to check with the cheap chess.com engine at the end of this, just to see what it actually is. One of the great things about these old school problems that I'm going to try to sell you guys on is that when you do a problem book or one of these problems online, they've generally been checked by an engine, and it's kind of like a clear-cut thing, and you're just kind of wrong. Unless a lot of, okay, let's make an exception for a lot of the dumb Puzzle Rush ones where there's multiple solutions and it tells you it's wrong. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, sometimes in these problems, the answer is so hard that, you can argue with the book. And, of course, you can end up checking it with the computer. But the main task where you're going to grow your chess skills is to fight with some of these great minds who haven't had the computer, and they're just trying to tell it like they analyzed it, probably also with their friends and other strong players while preparing the book, and also just in their own analysis. Okay. So Greg's heading out, but I think we've kind of figured out now how this polling situation works. Our friends at MIT and Harvard have given us the green light, and I think we're able to do it now. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna give one more minute from here, and then we'll call it on this one. So again, the question is knight takes f7. After knight takes f7, is white better, equal, or worse? And everybody's kind of been primed to think it's correct because the last time it was correct. And again, you want to look for variations. You don't want to just be willy-nilly like guessing about just a couple moves. You want to try to go as deep as possible. After what move we're talking about? Knight takes f7. So people are talking about bishop f4. No, we're not interested in bishop f4. We're only interested in knight f7. And that move is what we're talking about. Is white better, equal, or worse after knight takes f7? Okay, about 15 more seconds. Okay. All right, I'm going to end the poll here. And I'm going to share the results. 45% saying better, 40% saying equal, 15% saying worse. Okay, who would like to come on and tell us what they think? Who has an opinion on this position? And I'll tell you, maybe, I don't know if it's helpful, but this was Jansa against Delmar in like 1967. Austin, come on in. Tell us what you think and what variation you have.
I think what's better after knight takes f7, after knight takes f7, rook takes bishop e6. Black has to play knight f6 because if you try to defend the rook with a queen, after bishop f7, queen takes f7, and rook knight e8 drops. So yeah, black has to play knight f6. And here I thought something like bishop f4, just very simple. Like the bishop's not going, like the rook's not going anywhere. And here I thought black might try rook a7 so he can recapture on f7 with the rook.
Okay.
And then after rook, and then here I said rook a d1. You know, once again, I'm still not going to take the rook.
Okay.
Until black moves his king or something. So after something like queen f8.
Okay,
F8. Yeah,
f8.
queen f8. I don't know, I thought maybe queen c6 and white should be better because even though black does have the two bishops and, you know, the two pieces for the rook, white has the initiative, so black isn't really able to make anything out of his two pieces. And also his pawn structure is kind of scattered. The king could become exposed.
Okay, let's do a couple of moves. So queen c6, king, let's say h8, just a natural move.
Now I'll take the rook.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know which way. Let's say rook takes. Oh no. Well, you're trying to snip my pawn over there. That's not very nice. Okay, so I'll play queen takes.
Rook d8. Is something bad going to happen if I take the pawn on a4?
I'm just seeing that f2 square, and it seems like it's at least a real question mark.
You know what? I think I'm okay after queen takes a4 because the queen defends the bishop, so I'll take the pawn. So now I have 3 pawns and a rook for the 2 pieces, which is a huge material advantage.
Okay, let's say knight. What's going to happen here?
There's a queen e4 check.
Okay, here. Oh, queen e4 is a good move. Okay, good. Let's. All right, good. So we're gonna say this. Your intention is bishop f4, and by the way, you made me to rook a7. I didn't do it. You made me do it. I didn't do it. I'm just teasing you. Queen f8.
Well, that doesn't actually, you know, defend the rook anymore because the queen's still.
I know. I'm just gonna maybe play rook e8 or something next move. That's all I'm doing.
Actually, hold on. Can I do bishop h6 now? Because your queen's not defending the knight either.
You know what, Austin? You might have just answered an important question in the position, though. Look. Let's go back. What could you do here?
I can't take the pawn immediately, can I? Because your queen's defending the knight.
All right, let's play it out. Boom, boom, and then what?
Oh, I have rook d1, and the queen can't keep everything together.
Very good. All right. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. You can only claim that knight f7 is better if you see this position. Right? The other positions aren't so clear, but this one is a little bit more tasty. Right? A little bit more tasty. And I don't think black, the bummer for the bad news for black is I don't think he really take on h6, and he's got to do something like, let's say this one, and then something like bishop e3, and we now have the 3 pawns. right? And they call this winning, all right? And I guess I believe that, but I want to cheat now just to see what it says, and I'll tell you all what it says here. No, I don't want that one. I want the lines. Yeah, it's saying one point plus 2, 1.7. That's what the cheap engine is saying. Now it's going up a little bit. And maybe black could do, actually, let's go to bishop h6 and see what it says here. Yeah, basically winning. 2.4, 2.2. Okay, good. So again, that is a position. I didn't want you guys to do the thing where you say it's winning just on principle. I didn't want you to be primed from the last problem, but you really need to see bishop h6 in this one. Very nice move. GH, rook ad1, and as Austin said, you cannot keep it together. Okay, very good. Let me stop the sharing. I got taken over here. And we are now going to move to problem number 3. All right, now, pay attention. This is not simply which is the best move here. The question is going to be, after e5, de, knight e4, is white better, equal, or worse? And I think I can just relaunch this thing. Let me just see this here. Oh, shoot. Darn it. Oh. Let me try it again. Equal, better, winning. Okay, fine. Launch. Launch, my friends, launch. Okay, equal, better, winning. Again, I want people not to give me what they think is the best move in this position. I want them to evaluate e5, de, knight e4. And some foolhardy peasants out there have already clicked on their vote. No, 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 slow it down. It's going to take a moment. I don't care if you're Magnus Carlsen. This one will take a moment. Give it a second. Give this one a second. Maybe the people at MIT can just create a bunch of ones that say equal, better, or winning. You know, maybe that's what they could do for me. Yeah, we had the NIH people, National Endowment for the Sciences, National Endowment for the Humanities, all looking. How can Kraai get some polls? Been a thing that's going on for years now. My desperate need for polls. Desperate. All right, yeah. So I want to give some people some time. Some votes coming in. When roughly 60% of people have answered, I will give the rest of the crowd a minute left. Now that doesn't mean that you don't need more time. We're just crowdsourcing. We're crowdsourcing the time. We're crowdsourcing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the crowd is correct. And this one, I have to say, this poll that people at MIT, they didn't let me relaunch the last poll, which I would have preferred. Black is better and then equal, or white is better, but they didn't let me. I couldn't relaunch. At least as far as I could tell, I couldn't relaunch. In any case, equal, better, winning is good enough for me at the moment. And people are talking about other moves besides e5, knight e4. Forget about it. I'm not interested in those other moves. I'm interested in e5 and knight e4, going for the throat. It's the key variation that white needs to consider. And in all these Sicilian positions, is the knight on c3 dominated, or is he going to be able to play a role in the attack? Key question. All right. Here we go. I'm glad people are taking a little bit more of a moment. More of a moment here. Okay. Good. Good. People are thinking about it. Again, E5, DE, knight E4. That is the key variation I want you to consider. What is happening after that? Okay, good. We're going to do 1 minute left, and then we'll talk about it. One minute left. Submit your answers now. Okay. Good. I'm going to end this poll, and we'll have people can come in and give their opinions. This one's almost a perfect distribution. It is. I'm ending it at a perfect distribution. 22% saying equal, 56 saying better, 22 saying winning. Okay. The people at MIT should have let me do black is better too, but they didn't. But that's okay. So, all right, who would like to come on and say what they think is correct? This one's a difficult one. E5, DE, 94. Zephyr, come on in and tell us what you think, buddy.
So, I thought that after E5, D594, I think this is just slightly better for White.
Okay.
Because I don't think he can take because of Queen H5.
Okay.
Looks busted. After, for example, like Rook D8, and then there's Knight takes F6. So it's kind of like hard to find a good move for Black.
So what are you saying? That is he White winning?
White's better because they can like play slow, improving moves.
Wait, but hold on, Zephyr. Hold on. This is not slow improvement. White's playing Knight takes F6, Queen H5, mate. There's nothing slow about it. There's nothing slow about it, Zephyr. It's coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. After Knight takes F6, maybe there's an idea of like Rook takes F6 and Rook takes G6.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe Bishop D7, Knight takes F6, Rook takes F6, Queen H5, and then you take on G6. But that does not look.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks defendable.
Okay. All right. Anybody else like to come in and share what they think here? Yeah, anybody else? Okay. Austin, tell us. What do you think, buddy?
I was actually going to say the same line as him, which is Bishop D7. Like, it's just very calmly developing the bishop, but actually the idea is just to guard the E8 square. So now after Knight F6, Rook F6, Queen H5. Queen H5. If after I'm not here. If Rook takes F6 instead of Queen H5, Then you can go bishop f6, queen h5, king f8, and then after queen h8, you have king e7. Wait, hold on. Something's not right. Okay, I'll just continue with this time. Here you can take the bishop on g6, and then play something like bishop e8.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
thought white might play some. Well, I think you should probably keep the c2 pawn defended.
So like
maybe
queen or
Queen g2, yeah, that works. Yeah, queen g2.
I mean, queen g3 might be playable too. I don't know. Yeah.
And then I thought maybe you could just take on g2 and hope to draw the endgame, because you do have the pass pawn. I mean, it's not a great pawn, but you also have the bishop pair, and white hasn't managed to trade a pair of the rooks. So you may be able to just defend down in exchange with your extra pawn, and maybe counting on the fact that you have the two bishops and white can't easily trade a pair of rooks.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Clearly worse?
Yeah, that's clearly worse, but he's not losing yet.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, anybody else? Any other thoughts here? So we're going to go back to, I guess we'll start, we could put this position on the board. Yeah. Very interesting position. Okay, I'll tell you one of the interesting things about this, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. We'll check it with the computer too. So these guys are much stronger than me, even though this is a long time ago. But the line that they give, they say it's equal. I have a different path to equality. Their path to equality is pretty whack. So, first of all, knight e4. Now, if queen h5, like a lot of people were saying, then I go snip, snop, knight f6. Gotta take the thing. And there's no mate. There's no mate. Goodbye, buddy. I'm running. I'm out of here. Thank you for playing. Black wins. So, then, because of that, on knight e4, you got to go snip, and then queen h5. And then here, there's truly a miracle defense with bishop c5, right? And black is going to run. It seems unbelievable, but truly that is what's going to happen. For example, check this madness, and then on queen h8, eyeing the e5 pawn, so no king c7 because of queen e5, then king e7, and we have ourselves a very strange draw. Now, that was over my head. Did I see any of that? No. But now, you guys can let me know, am I correct? Here's my thought. I thought b5, knight f6, rook f6, and now there's two choices. There's rook f6, but here I'm going to run like they did, and I'm going to play bishop b7, and if they check me, I'm running. That's it. I'm out of there. Goodbye. And obviously, white has his own problems. And then, if queen h5, of course, now I want to do you guys' idea. And the best that I could come up with for white here was to make a draw like that, you know? Otherwise, I think he's just made it. So now we're going to ask the computer. We'll ask the computer. But I'll tell you, so that's one of the fascinating things about these old-time guys. They didn't check with the computer. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, so here we go. Knight e4. Let's see what they say. Or not the evaluation bar, Kraai. Come on. This thing. Oh, it doesn't like my move, boss. Oh, it has a nice move that I did not see. Look at this. b5, and then queen f3, dog. Oh, that's cold-hearted. That is cold-hearted, my friends. Wait a second. Do I understand this? Bishop b7, queen h3. Oh, man, chess is a beautiful game. Look at that. Look at that. That's so cold. That is so cold. +9. +9, my friends. Well, I was wrong on that one. Now, did they see b5 And this amazing queen f3, I don't know. If they did, no one said anything about it, but what a great move. What a beautiful move. Okay, so there it is. It's equal, but only if you see this one that they saw, which I did not. Because I just thought I found an answer in b5, and that was good enough for me. Was I wrong? Yes. Did I believe I was right, even though the computer smacked me down later? Yes, I believed I was right, but I was actually wrong. Man. And I'm going to tell you guys, when you look at these complicated middle game positions, it is a rough business, my friends. All right, let's do one more. Let's leave with an end game. Let's leave with an end game here. We're going to stop sharing this and go away. And let's launch number 4. Right. Oh. Actually, you know what? Let's take it to this one, because this one is the only one we got a poll for. Launch the poll, baby. Launch it. The poll is very simple. This will be the last poll of the day. It's white to move. Should he play knight c8, queen c4, queen d7? Which one should he do? All right. Knight c8, queen c4, queen d7. Definitely give it a thought. Try to realize what black's intentions are. You know, and let's say some obvious stuff. This is the King's Indian, my friend. And the King's Indian is a brutal beast. It is a brutal beast. And let's just say there might be some clouds. There's only, if you put a king on h1 against the King's Indian, there's going to be some drama. There's going to be some drama. Yeah. Roger has a good point. The pawn is on c3 instead of c4. So in that sense, it probably did not arise out of a typical King's Indian position, but this is definitely, at least to my mind, a King's Indian structure. Maybe, you know what? Probably, even though it's a King's Indian structure, it was likely, I'm going to guess, a Sheveshnikov. That's what I'm going to guess. In fact, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to find the game. I thought I had it anyway somewhere out here. Here, I'll find it, put it out somewhere else. All right. This is Tall against Jansa, like 1966. 1966. Poor Tall. Time pressure here. Nope, totally wrong. This was that. Rui Lopez. This came out of a Rui Lopez. Sveshnikov wasn't popular back then. All right, we got 10 people have answered. I'm going to give it till roughly about 60% of people have submitted their answer. And let me just say, I really enjoy the polls. One problem that we had here at the U.S. Chess School is I feel like, you know, we have always the same people who are ready to come on and say something, which is great, but I want everybody to, you know, participate. And I get it that some people don't feel comfortable coming online and talking in front of a group of complete strangers and some strange people on the internet and myself. And then I make, you know, snide comments, and then it just doesn't feel good. And you're like, well, why did I participate in this event? But with the poll, it is anonymous unless you want to come on and defend your answer. All right, we have 12 people answered. So until when we get around 60%, I'll give 1 minute remaining. Queen d7, queen c4, knight c8. Yeah. And let me just say, in all these King's Indian structures, usually my experience is dire time pressure. Just dire time pressure, because people are really going to have to tank as to black has to make sure he or she is mating, and white has to make sure they aren't mated. So there's going to be a lot of calculation before we even got to this position. Yeah. Okay. 1 minute left, my friends, and then we're going to call it. This will be the final one of the day. I kind of enjoyed this, so I might do more positions with poles in my next U.S. chess school. And let's just say the middle game is an amazing place to live in. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the middle game. All right. I'm going to end this poll, and I'm going to share the results. Queen c4 and queen d7 were about the same. Nobody liked knight c8. Okay, would anybody like to come on and defend their answer? Anybody like to come on and defend their answer? Evan, what do you got, buddy? What do you got for us? Maybe Evan's talking about something else. Okay. So, this is a very difficult one. White's under duress. And let me just say, you will sometime in your life find yourself under duress against some kind of King's Indian. You know, that pawn on f4 is just an evil beast taking up all that squares. And Araja likes queen c4. Take on a6, and then also in case of queen f1. Hope for the best. Hope for the best. That's one of the terrible things when you hope for the best against the King's Indian. It's a real mess, man. It's a real mess. Sometimes, you can imagine, Tal probably thought he was winning this because the bishop on h6 is miserable looking, and it feels like he is breaking stuff down. But in fact, queen g7 / queen g5 is coming pronto. Cannot do queen d6 because of hg, and we'll end up losing some stuff. Austin likes queen d7. Austin, you want to come on, buddy, and tell us why?
Yeah, so I thought queen d7 versus queen g5.
Okay, good.
I thought, well, maybe if we put queen c4, black gets a choice between queen g7 and queen g5. And we really don't want to put queen f1, because if that happens, then we're not going to be able to move any of our pieces. Like, all of them are going to be basically stalemated over there in the g2 pawn. So now, I was thinking, for example, if we play queen takes e6, then rook wait, hold on. I was thinking that in some lines that bishop on h6 might hang. I thought rook g2 in the, but I think this quite working out. I mean, unless we sack the queen to the bishop, like rook g2, queen h6, and then rook g2, but I don't think that's good.
Okay. Well, Aryan has an idea. Let's bring him in. Aryan, what do you got for us, man? Let's go back to this position.
No, like go back to that position. It was in that position.
Oh, back to this one? Okay.
Yeah, so how about rook g2, queen g8?
Let's check it out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so king g8 is out. Got to play queen takes. And then I assume you want rook takes.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to put the queen. Let's just put it on b3 for half a second.
I mean, like, I'm not saying what is better, but it shouldn't be as bad as it was earlier.
What do you want to do here in this position?
d5.
Very good. Okay. Well, all right, take a look at this position. What do you think? Is white going to hold this thing?
I'd say maybe,
Okay.
but probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
I think for sure white can hold it, because the knight is defended. Okay, so let's do this chain thing. So the king defends the knight, the defensive pawn, the defensive pawn, the defensive knight, the defensive pawn, the defensive pawn, the defensive pawn. So basically, all of white's pieces are all protected by each other.
Yeah, I think I've got a bishop to d5, bishop to h4, bishop to d3.
No, but black has to watch out for knight f6 stuff, right? Doesn't he? Because knight f6, there's an Arabian mate.
Yeah, but he gets his mate back, and then he plays something like bishop, like let's say he moves a bishop to 7, and then he goes back to d8, and then he plays bishop h6, and bishop h5, bishop h4, bishop d3.
Wait. How is what black getting the bishop to h4 again? He's got to go from d8, but he can't get to d8 unless he steps in one of the squares that the rook or knight is attacking.
No, he goes to h6, then g5. He has to go to g7 now because he invaded.
Wait, black can't play bishop g5. The rook's controlled.
G7, and then.
But the bishop's not moving from g7.
And then he will move to d8 for guarding h6, and then he will go to g5.
But the queen can't move either.
Okay, you guys, good. It's a good debate. It's a good, honest debate you guys are having. And I think the point is that when you're here, that variation that Aryan found, absolutely. It's the only one. Now, does it draw? I think probably. But would I be 100% certain in a game? No. No way. No way. But the thing is, there's no other hope. There's no other hope. On queen c4, terrible h4 things are going to happen to you. Terrible, terrible h4 things. And just the roll is going to continue. It's just going to continue. And knight c8 is actually what Tal played in time pressure, but it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, you know, where you're going to get, oh, the poor knight c8, man. Poor knight c8. Where queen g5, he tried knight d6, threatening knight f7. Look at that. Bam! Oh, game over. Game over. So that one ended pretty quickly thereafter. So queen c4's, knight d8's, I guess, or excuse me, knight c8's the worst. Knight queen c4 is a little bit better than that, but queen d7 with the intention, you got to see, of taking on e8, creating this fortress-like position that Aryan saw here. Very interesting. And then the more you look at it, you're like, oh, this is an interesting position because this is an example of what something like a fortress can look like. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I had a good time. I'm going to try to do something similar to this in the future. And all right, till next time. Bye-bye.